What's up guys, it's Andrew at EliteGamingHQ, and maybe you guys are like me and you're really excited about Cyberpunk coming out. I can't wait to play it. I think PC is going to be the way to play it because you're going to be able to have so many options as far as high FPS, awesome graphics, but what if you guys are on a budget? In this video, I want to show you guys how you can get entry-level cyberpower with a PC. I'm going to show you some parts, I'm going to explain why I would pick one over the other, and just talk you through everything. So if you're looking to make a PC, at the end you'll have a more informed part list and kind of got an idea of why you should go with one part over the other. We're going to look at the system requirements, the minimum requirements, and we'll go from there. But if you guys aren't into making a PC yourself and you want us to build you one, visit EliteGamingHQ.net. We build custom PCs to fit anyone's budget. And one other thing, if you guys are into live streaming, check out Erin on Elite Gaming HQ stream. She's been doing live streams all last week and she's going to continue moving forward. So go check her out. You'll probably have a good time. You can ask her basically anything and she'll sit there and chat with you and play some games. All right, let's get into the video. All right, first let's look at our system requirements. These are the minimum system requirements. These are the recommended. Now I got this from Tom's Hardware. I like Tom's Hardware, so I'm going to take it from them instead of Cyberpunk's, just in case you guys want to check it out for yourself. Okay, so the first thing is we have a i5 3570 and an FX 8310 is the minimum processor, and then it goes up to a 4790 and a Ryzen 3200G. Now, these two processors here you will not be able to find unless you're using a used system, so I can show you a couple recommendations. What I would say is use the 9100F, because the 9100F is actually better than the 8310, as you see here. Its efficiency in single core and multiple core. 8310 is a 4-core processor, but it's kind of split into 8. So there was a class action lawsuit that they actually had to pay out a lot of people because they advertised this as an 8-core processor, which it is in fact not really an 8-core processor. So anyway, the 4-core, the 9th gen is a 4-core processor, has better versatility, better single core, and will be a lot better than that processor, as well as the older i5. Any i5 that is 7th gen or older is going to be a 4-core i5, but the 8th and 9th moving forward gen i3s are also 4-core, and they usually outperform them. As you see here, this i3 is faster than the i5. Okay, so if you were going to do Intel for this build, for example, you can go pick one of these up for $71.88 off of Amazon. Now, all the parts on the Amazon, I will also have links down below, so if you want to buy them, if you click on my affiliate links, I'll have a whole folder where you can pick out every single part. So you'll be able to build this yourself by getting all those parts just in one place. Okay, so next, see now if we go into the recommended, if you look at the Ryzen 3 3200G versus the 8310, of course it's a lot better, but that processor runs anywhere from $100 to $130 if you can find it. My actual recommendation, since these processors are going to use the same motherboard, is I would go with a 2600. The 2600 right now is $140. That is a 6-core 12-thread processor. With that processor, you'll be able to stream, make content, do all types of stuff. It's faster than this processor, and if you're going with recommended, I would go with something like this. It's more future-proof, and if you get a B450 motherboard, which we're about to look at, you'll actually be able to go into the 5000 series AMD processors down the road as far as an upgrade path. But either way, both of these will use the same motherboard. So if you're going to AMD side, I would recommend a 2600 for a budget build. It's double the price as the i3, but you're going to get a decent amount more performance. Touch on that, $140. That's what I would recommend if you're building a recommended PC for this game and you're going to move forward and play a bunch of other games. All right, as far as the motherboards, I have 2 motherboards picked out here that I recommend to you guys. B360s are great for a budget build, and with the i3 it's not overclockable anyway, so on the Intel side you want a Gigabyte B360. That's what I think is great for them. Now, I would say this is more of a premium motherboard on the AMD side. This is the Gigabyte Aorus B450. Now, even if you look, it has tons of USB ports. You got everything you need. This is for your M.2. It actually has like an M.2 cover. Overall, it all depends if you're going to go Intel or AMD. If you're going AMD, I would go with this board. If you're going Intel, I would go with this board. As you see, they got 6 USB ports on the back, a couple other features, but this is a very basic board. And I would say the AMD leads ahead at this board at the same price point. which has generally been true over the years, but you are saving money over the processor. Trust me, the i3 is a good processor. If you went with Intel, nobody can blame you. You're still going to do pretty well. All right, next we have to look at the video card. For the minimum settings, they're saying a 780 with GTX 780. I think that came out, that's about 8 years old, or an RX 470, which is a couple years old, probably like 5 or 6. When we go to compare, I would say as far as the minimum, NVIDIA or Radeon, go with the 570. The 570 is going to be better than both of these card options. I wouldn't look at either of those. If you look here, the 570, which is a generation, it's a rebranding generation ahead of the 470, but it has a little bit better performance. But AMD is constantly updating the drivers for these cards, so I would definitely go with the 570 plus the price. Now, for the price, that's actually a little bit much. If you go to Amazon, it's going to be hard to get one for a good price, but I would say shoot over to Newegg. You can get a nice cheap one for $139.99. Now, this is the minimum. This is what I would say for minimum. If you guys just want to play the game, I would grab one of these. You want to get into the game with a PC, explore more PC gaming options, or you need to upgrade your PC, grab yourself one of these. Now, you will need external power, which I believe is just a 6-pin, which is fine. We're going to cover that on our power supply section. Okay, so it's recommended is a GTX 1060 or an R9 Fury. Two older cards. Once again, I wouldn't recommend either of those cards. Right now, today, you're going to go with the GTX 1660, in my opinion. They both have 6 gigabytes. I don't know why it doesn't have it listed there. The 6 gigabyte version of 1060 actually launched for a higher price, but as you see here, you're going to get a bit better performance with the 1660 over the 1060. All right, so a 1660 is going to run you about $230. Once again, that'll be in the link in the description. It's also going to need external power. And it's an all-around good card. I think these are solid cards. I think they're a little underestimated. You could play any game on the market in 1080p, 60 FPS without a problem, and higher with this particular video card. So, all right, next, it recommends 8 gigs of RAM. I don't recommend 8 gigs of RAM. You can get an 8 gig chip for $27. If you're trying to make it as cheap as possible, that's not bad. I mean, I guess, because you can always upgrade later, but I'd rather run dual channel 16 gigs, just pay the extra money, get something like this Vengeance kit for $60 and get 16 gigs right off the bat. There's not much more to say about that. Just pick yourself up a quality set of RAM. All right, now, if you look at the storage here, this is very interesting. It says you need 70 gigs, but it's recommended as 70 gigs of SSD. Now, what I would say to that is you're not going to be able to find, I mean, I guess if you just have space, 70 gigs is fine, but you're not going to find an inexpensive hard drive that's going to be okay for 70 gigs. That's going to be reliable speed. So I would say just shoot to the SSD. Now, once again, if you're making a computer just for this game, you go with a Kingston 120 gigabyte. Okay, so this is SSD. This is going to fit your OS and just that game. You can make it your boot drive. You can put a secondary drive afterwards and use this just for Cyberpunk and Windows. You could do that if you're trying to be really cheap. But my recommendation is I would go with a 250 gig M.2 NVMe. You're getting double the space for roughly double the money, but you're also getting like 4 to 5 times the speed because it's an NVMe. Now, what this tells me over here is because it's recommended, it says use an SSD. This is a big open world game. It's going to be similar to like WoW or GTA, where it's going to load big maps at once. So you will absolutely see a performance increase by using an NVMe. Now, also, I would also recommend if you go with either of these and you're building an all-around good computer, throw in a 1 terabyte drive. Now, a lot of people will tell you, well, 1 terabyte drives, they're not that great because it's a spinning drive. Yes, but they're not actually that bad if you're not constantly looking for information from your OS. So, for example, if your Windows is on one of these drives and you have this as a backup drive, it's not too terrible. So you can run a lot of games off of this. Say you want to play like Call of Duty, a couple other things. You can throw this on there. That's a great budget option to pair with either one of these. Now, of course, if you just want to cut to the chase, you just get yourself a pretty big, M.2. All right, moving forward, we're going to go with the case. Now, this is the case I recommend for a budget. I like this case. Why? Because it's inexpensive, it's versatile, and it has great airflow. You can put 2 fans in here. You can put a fan and exhaust. And a fan and exhaust, I'll show you what they actually look like. I would buy these fans. And I would also buy a splitter, so you can wire all the fans to the motherboard, and you can put a fan curve as it heats up. I have a whole video talking about that. And this is actually what you'll come up with. If you take this case, these fans, and the splitters, you'll actually get this. Now, what's awesome about this is it can lay on its side as a media type PC. You got your power buttons there. This is actually those fans. They look really sharp. The pictures don't do it justice. In person, they look really good. It's on my Instagram, by the way, EliteGamingHQ. We put a lot of our builds up there if you want to check that out. But you can see here, it's got a 1080. This is a little older build, but with that case, and oh yeah, so this is the cool thing. The side panels are actually feet. So if you want to mount it as entertainment system, which I didn't mean to just heart my thing, there's that. Now, if you want to mount it like this, you can do this. This is the same case, roughly. Just has different stick-on panels. As you see, it's just another version. And we're running RGBs in this. And this was for a customer pretty recently. So either one, I think this case is great. I think this is a good, versatile case. If you're on a budget, too, it's really good. For airflow, it's really good. You got plenty of room to work in. It's just an all-around, as far as a micro case, it's pretty damn good. The other case I would recommend is the Cooler Master Master Box. These new ones, make sure you get the air one. This one here is not so great. The problem with this one is it stifles the air and you're relying on these vents. Now, if you get this one here, you have a front screening. Now, I see the screening looks a little bit different. Maybe you don't like the way it looks, but it allows so much more air. And for these smaller cases like this, unless you get like a giant case and you're putting 5 fans up front, 3 fans up front, whatever, this will do a good job. I would buy 2 more fans though, or just swap out all RGBs and just put 2 on exhaust and 2 intake and run this case just the way it is. Or you could just buy 2 black ones and just enjoy looking at the front of it. I mean, it's going to look good either way. The other thing I want to just mention, if you guys are new to building PCs, when you look at your fans, you see how this has this shroud? That is the way the air is going through. Okay, so when I say exhaust, see this one, it has the shroud facing out, so that's in exhaust position. So what you want to do is have exhaust here, exhaust stuff here, intake here, intake here. So you want to have all the shrouds facing this way, this way. You get what I'm saying? So you have 2 coming in, 2 going out. So this is where the air goes out. This is where the air goes in. Just something, I don't know, maybe I could help you out if you didn't know that. So there's that. And that's about it for the video. So that should show you everything you need to know about what parts to get. Like I said, I'm going to put an Amazon link down below. You'll be able to go to it. All the parts will be there. You can watch the video, cherry pick which ones you want to go with this particular video. Or if you want one built, you can just contact us and we'll figure out a budget, a theme, whatever you guys want to fit your needs. So, and also check out Aaron on the streaming. So thanks for watching, guys. My name is Andrew. This is Elite Gaming HQ. Thanks, guys.